While we are waiting to get started, if you guys could all go in and download the Paycom app. It looks just like this logo in the top left of my screen. If you download the Paycom app, everything I show you today on the computer will also be available to you in that app. Alrighty, we are going to go ahead and get started. So again, everybody is muted. If you guys just use the chat option, I'll be monitoring that chat. Just if you do have any questions, please go ahead and submit them through the chat here. I'll be taking a look at that. With the Paycom solution, it's going to be best if you guys download the Paycom app. So please make sure you go to your App Store or Google Play Store and download the Paycom app. Just looks like this logo here. It's a big green one. Everything I show you today on the computer, you're going to be able to do through your phone. Great. So when you download the Paycom app, you're going to go to your login and just select Employees. So it should look very similar to this on your screen. Everybody was sent a username and password to your work email. If you didn't get that email, please reach out to your HR team. They'll be able to assist you in getting that login information. Look at this question. So, great question. Unfortunately, right now, you are not able to download the app on your work phone. There are some security features on your work phone that don't allow you to download the app. However, you do want to make sure you have this on your personal phone. Not only are you going to be able to have personal information, but it's also going to help you with clocking in and out, requesting time off, submitting benefits, and even just viewing pay stubs. So you are going to want to also have this regardless on your personal device. Once you do log in for the first time, it's going to ask you to change your password. So that's just up to you. You can change your password to whatever you like. It's also going to ask you to do 5 security questions. The reason we do 5 security questions is just because there's a lot of sensitive information on the Paycom app, so we just want to make sure to keep that info safe. Once you are able to log in, your screen is going to look very similar to mine. So if you're logging in through your phone, it'll just list off the different areas of Paycom from top to bottom. If you're on a computer, it'll look just like this. We have the navigation bar on the top. We call these tiles in the middle. It all takes you to the same area. So whether you like to use the top or the middle section, it's going to get you to where you need to go. Now, the biggest piece about Paycom, what you guys are going to primarily use this for is timekeeping. So you are going to be able to clock in and out using Paycom. What we use for that is this little blue circle. You're going to have this blue circle on the bottom right of your phone. If you click on that blue circle, it's going to pull up a quick punch for you. So it's going to have the time. My time is on Central Time. That's why it looks like it's 6 o'clock. Yours should just be Pacific Time, so it'll look normal. All you're going to be doing here is just selecting in day, and then it'll record your punch as a successful punch. That just means that you've clocked in for the day, so you're ready to go. What's nice about Paycom is it's smart enough to know where you're at in your day. So if I've just clocked in and I need to clock out for lunch, my next available punch here is going to be either out for lunch or out for the day. So if I'm working a short shift, you can just select out day. If I am supposed to take a lunch, then I would select out to lunch. And again, it's going to just record that punch as successful. If you don't like using this little blue circle, you're also going to have the option to use time management. So under time management, we have the web time clock. On your phone, it may just say Pacific clock. It's the exact same thing. So you're going to click on that, and it's going to open up just a big version of that clock. And then on the right-hand side, you're going to see all of your punches for that day. So you can see it just recorded my in-day punch and my out to lunch punch. So my next available punch is coming back in from lunch. And it's going to record that for me on the right-hand side. Once I'm done for the day, I will simply select out day. And then you are officially clocked in and out for that day. You don't need to worry about anything else. Now, it's inevitable. It happens to everybody, but oftentimes you will need to either edit a punch or submit a punch change request. For that, we're going to go to time management, and we're going to go to web timesheet read only. Yours may only say read only. Again, it's the same thing. So what this does is it pulls up a calendar view of all the punches that have been submitted for the pay period. These question marks here indicate that there is a missing punch. So if ever there's a missing punch, all you have to do is just click on the question mark, and we'll get a dialog box that pops open, and you're going to just fill in the information for that punch. So what type of punch it is, the day, if it's a different day, the punch time, and then the reason for that change. When you add the request, it's going to shoot an email over to your manager as well as a notification for them to go in and approve that. If ever there isn't question marks here, but you still need to add a punch, you're going to go to the request new punch button at the top left. So again, it's just up here at the top. From here, it's the same dialog box that pops open, and you're going to just select the date, the type of punch, the time, and then the reason for the request. If you're really good about using the time clock, you won't really have to worry about changing any of the punches. But I know that it happens to everybody, so just make sure that this piece of it you're feeling good on. And if you have any questions, make sure to fill them in that chat. If ever you need to change just one punch, you can select the actual punch and then just change the time. So if I didn't clock out at 5, I actually clocked out at 7. You can throw that in there and then add the request. You can also request to delete punches. So you can see on this day, I actually punched in quite a few times because we've had quite a few trainings. You can just click on the punch and then have it request to be deleted. At the bottom here, you're going to have an approved time card button. This is really important because we want to make sure that you guys are getting paid for the time that you actually spent working that day. So all you're going to do here is select approved time card. What that's going to do is it's going to turn the time card yellow for all of the days that don't have anything missing or pending. So you can see here, the only days that are still showing up as white are ones where I have pending punches. Once those get approved, your manager will be able to approve your time card for you, and it's going to turn your whole time card blue when they do approve it. If ever you approve your time card prematurely, so you accidentally approve your time card, you can go to approvals and either delete one day at a time so that you can edit specific days of that time card. Or once this loads, you'll be able to go to approvals and delete the whole approval. And then that way you can go in and adjust anything that you need to do on your time card. The last piece in time management is you can edit any of the punches that you've requested to be changed. So if you submitted the wrong punch, you can edit that information or just delete the request altogether and then re-request whatever change needs to be made. So again, this is the biggest part that you guys are going to be using on a day-to-day basis. So please make sure you feel comfortable using the time clock. It is going to be something you guys do use every day that you work. So just make sure you're comfortable there. And if you guys do have any questions, again, just filter them through that chat. The next piece is time off requests. So you guys are going to be able to submit time off through Paycom. Within this calendar, you simply just select a day that you want to take off. And then you're going to select your paid time off. You can change the amount of hours that you want to take that day. So if you just, maybe you were sick and you just want to take 4 hours so that you still get paid because you had to leave early. You can change the amount of hours per day. You can also open the date range up. So if you're taking a long vacation, you can select, to make that vacation a little bit longer. And then you don't need to worry about entering in a start time, but you will want to enter in your reason. So for instance, if this was a sick day, you want to make sure you put sick. If it's a vacation day, you want to make sure you're entering a vacation. What else is great about Paycom is if you're requesting time off in advance, so let's say I want to take a vacation out in December, the system is actually smart enough to know how much time off you're going to have when this time comes around. So if I go to my vacation, it's going to give me a projected net available amount of time so that I know exactly how much time off I'm allowed to take. Now, for those of you that have logged into Paycom, if you go to your hours available, you may see that there currently are no hours available in Paycom. That's because we wait to import your balances until you've ran your last payroll within your old provider. So currently it shows as 0. Don't worry about that now. You will have your hours in the system. We just want to make sure that we don't dip anybody on time. So once we do load the time, you will have to re-request your days off if you've already requested time off in the future. So it's good practice not only for you, but also for your managers. So make sure when those hours do fall in that you go in and re-request whatever time off you were planning on taking. When you log in for the first time, you may notice that there's a notification bell in the top right of your screen. If you open that notification bell up, you're going to see an employee verification checklist. This checklist is meant for us to get the most up-to-date information for each one of you guys. So within this checklist, we have EEO1 data. That's like your sex and gender and ethnicity. Anything in regards to EEO1, you can enter in if you like. If you don't want to, it's completely optional. Address and contact info, we want to make sure some of you have been working at South Coast Community Services for a while and maybe have never changed your address or contact. So this is going to be your opportunity to do that. Same idea with tax setup information. So if you want to change your filing status or change your withholdings, you'll be able to do that. It all happens in real time. So those changes will be effective by your next payroll. You're going to confirm your rate of pay for us. Just make sure that the pay rate in Paycom is in fact what you know you should be getting paid. You're going to be able to do a test sample paycheck. I'll go through that in a little bit just to show you how that works. And then with direct deposit, if you already have direct deposit, your bank information will be here. If it's not there, you're going to want to go ahead and add that information. And then what's nice about Paycom is you can set up direct deposit distribution. Why that's really cool is because if you're a great saver, you can enter in a savings account, put in your accounting and rounding number, and then you can withhold a certain dollar amount or a certain percentage so that each check can be split into different accounts if you wish. Again, this happens in real time. So as soon as you make a change in Paycom on your side, that'll be updated for payroll. So whenever you put a new distribution in the system, that is where your check will go. So please have this checklist done by next Friday. It takes about 5 minutes to complete. And it's also how we'll know that you've been through training. So the first time you log in, just open up that checklist, make sure to go through all the different steps and verify that information for us so that we know you're going to get paid right. In the information tab, the checklist is going to take care of these two for you. But if ever you need to go back in and change your address or contact info, by all means, you have the ability to do so. And it definitely helps you keep that information up to date. You're also going to be able to change your username or password. So right now, your username isn't exactly user-friendly. But if we click on it, we're able to change that username to make sure that you can log in whenever you need to. So we have a question here. What if we don't do a distribution split in direct deposit? It's still showing red as required to fill out. You shouldn't need to do a split. If you don't split, you're just going to want to make sure that the direct deposit is just in that main distribution. So if we go to direct deposit, this is your main account. So this one is definitely required for you guys to do direct deposit. And then the distributions are just extra. So if you want to do the distribution, you would just select yes, and then fill in the information here. So again, if you do decide you want to change your username, you're going to just go to information, change username or password. The only stipulation with the username is it has to be in an email format. So it has to just be blank at blank dot blank. Doesn't have to even be a valid email. Just has to be in that format and you'll be able to change your username. The other thing here too is if you're logging in on a smartphone that's a little bit more updated, you'll be able to do a fingerprint or a facial recognition, and that'll just make it a whole lot easier for you to be able to log in. Also in this information tab, should you ever need to, you can change your time setting. So you can go from standard to military or your language preference. So you can go to English to Spanish or Spanish to English. Within the payroll tab, this is probably the most important tab within Paycom. You're going to be able to view your pay stub, see your pay to date, check your pay rate, edit your tax information, all of this again in real time. This is also where you will be able to go to test your sample paycheck. So if ever you have or you're just curious about how changing your tax info or changing your benefits is going to affect your net check, you can play with this information and just see what your total will be. You can also just give yourself as many hours as you want or change what type of hours you're going to get. Maybe you want to see what you'd get if you had overtime or just a ton of regular hours. And you can go ahead and update that and see exactly what that's going to look like. Right? So it shows you a little bit more money for you. It's essentially just a playground for you to be able to mess with your checks. Also in payroll is where you can go to change direct deposit at any time. So if you don't want to do it through the checklist, but later on you decide maybe I do want to set up distributions, you can enter in direct deposit from here. Lastly, your year-end tax forms. So you'll have access to your year-end tax forms as soon as they come available through your phone. I myself submitted all my taxes through my cell phone. I was able to just download it off of Paycom and upload it into TurboTax, made for a really easy tax season. You are going to be also doing expenses through Paycom. So currently right now, you guys don't have the expense option, so you won't see it there. But once it is rolled out to you, you're going to be able to add any type of expense that you wish. This is also going to be true for mileage tracker. So you will be able to track your mileage through Paycom and get reimbursed through here as well. The mileage tracker tool, you'll see it on your homepage, but it works really well. You're simply just going to hit start trip, drive, and then when you get to the end location, you just hit end trip. When you hit end trip, it's going to open up a dialog box that looks just like this with your trip information. And you're just going to enter in the details so that your manager can then go in and approve it. There will be more training coming out on expenses. So look for that in your notification center when that rolls out. And that way you guys can be experts on how to submit any type of expense. Also in Paycom, you're going to have access to all sorts of different documents that your HR team will send to you. What's cool about Paycom is there's what's called online editable documents. And what that means is you no longer have to print it out, fill it in, scan it, and then send it back. It can all be edited online from your cell phone. So if you open it up on your phone, you'd be able to look at a document and essentially be able to fill out any information that your HR team needs. The checklist tab just shows you what checklists you have assigned to you. If ever you need to refer back to any checklist that you've ever completed, you'd see records of it there, so you'd be able to come back at any time. Also for benefits. So I know you guys just went through open enrollment, but next year when you go through open enrollment, you're going to want to open that benefits tab up. From benefits, you're going to be able to do qualifying events, update your dependents and beneficiaries, look at current or historical benefits, as well as look at any forms or links that are tied to the plans that you've selected. So if you want to just learn more about your benefits, you can come into the benefits portal, select the forms, and then just read up on any of the benefit information. These last three tabs here, the personnel forms, these personnel forms are really once your manager completes a path. It is essentially if ever you get a promotion or a pay change, or maybe you're changing departments, your manager will submit a path for you. And then once it gets final approved and sent to payroll, you'll have a record of it under personnel forms. Same idea with performance discussion forms. So hopefully nobody has to go down this route, but anytime you do have like a coaching conversation with your manager, you'll be able to look at that conversation, or at least see the history of the conversations you've had through performance discussion forms. Under company information, there's an employee directory. It's just a way for you guys to get to know your peers. There will be information in here on other people that work with you. And then under My Learning, if you've been zoning me out, you're going to have what's called Paycom University. So Paycom University is a great tool for you guys to be able to watch a video on anything that I've gone over today. And it'll essentially just take you from start to finish on how to use any of these different products in Paycom. So again, the biggest piece, make sure you guys go in and complete that employee verification checklist. And then if you've taken nothing else away, make sure you know how to log in using the web time clock. So either using that quick punch option or going through time management and using the web time clock. And then also your web sheet read only, you're going to want to just keep up on those things. That way we can get you paid correctly and you guys don't have to worry about, missing out on any time. That is all I have for you today.